I'm going to pan for gold in my yard, and I think you should do the same thing. Hi, I'm Keith. This is the Prospector's Vault. Thank you for joining me here in beautiful southern Arizona in my yard, where I'm about to do a few pans to see if I found gold on a new spot. This is a really critical step when you're prospecting. It's called sampling, and if you're not doing it, you're missing out on real gold. So the technique I'm about to show you, although very simple, is one of the best ways to ensure you're finding gold when you're out in the field. So join me, like, subscribe, follow. Again, this is the Prospector's Vault. We'll be talking about things like gold, bullion, stacking silver, prospecting, field work, all that great stuff. I'll also be telling you the things I've learned over 16 years that were painful so that you don't have to go through those same growing pains. I hope you'll join me. Let's go. This is really everything you need to get started in your yard. I use two pans. I pan one into the other. I have two different classifiers. This is my preferred classifier for panning. And you have to have your trusty snuffer bottle, of course. And then the most important thing is your material. I got this in some of the mountains nearby here in southern Arizona. First, let's talk about the material. So this is actually off of an old pit. So the old timers out in this area would dig holes and they would process material nearby, but they would leave a ton of material behind. So this material came off the rim of a pit, and my buddy had actually found a half-gram nugget in the same area. You can see it's very red, has a lot of iron in it, and it should have a fair amount of black sands. Let's get started. First thing I do is classify. Look, you will see people out there not classifying. If you're panning and you're not classifying, I think you're making a mistake. I pan into that pan, that way it's easier to get rid of the material, and then I can go back through it if I really want, see if I miss anything. There's the raw material, shake it down a little bit, but you still have all these big clumps of dirt. So I submerge it, and then I break it up with my hands a little bit more to make sure I'm not missing anything. And then you always want to look and make sure you didn't miss a big nugget. And because I live in Arizona with a gravel yard, so once you have your material, you just want to break it up a little bit more with your hand. And this has a lot of clay in it and light material. So I just wash that off the top. For me, panning is quick. Some people take a half an hour to pan. I do not. So here's how I do it. You just shake it up. The truth is, if you have gold in there, it's almost certainly not going anywhere. Or if it does, it's probably so small I don't care anyway. No gold in that one, but there is some good black sand. And don't be discouraged if you bring home a bucket and it was rattling around in the back of your vehicle the whole way home. Don't be discouraged if on that top layer you don't have any gold. There's a good chance it's settled to the bottom of the bucket, and that's almost universally true for me. I find that last pan or two typically has the most. Here's another note for you. Once you've classified and you're looking through your screen to see if you have any nugs left over, always look closely at your pieces of quartz. Gold rides on the back of a horse named Quartz, right? I think I just made that up. I'm not sure. So you always want to look closely at your quartz to see if there's any specks of gold in there. I have to let that soak for a minute. It's got some big clay balls in it, and you really want to make sure you break those up. So while we're waiting, let's talk about why sampling is so important. So I'm in southern Arizona, and the place I prospect the most, there's very little or no water at all most of the time. And so while I'm out in the field with my metal detector, or if I bring water out there to do some sampling, I have a limited capacity and desire, frankly, to do panning while I'm out in the field, especially when I go with my metal detector. I'm out there to detect. And if my coil's not on the ground, I'm not finding gold. So what I like to do is always bring some buckets with me. And then on my way out, I'll typically stop at one or two areas just to explore somewhere new quickly, and then grab a bucket or two to pan from home. And that has worked so well for me. I literally just last year found a spot with multiple grams after bringing home a sample that was literally in my sandwich baggie. I walked past an inside bend, an area that probably hundreds of dudes have walked past, and I took a small sample off that, got a sweet picker out of it, and I ended up hitting that spot hard in my dry washer, and I think I got 4 or 5 grams off of it. So Sampling is the most important part of prospecting. We call it prospecting because you're not finding gold, you're prospecting for gold. So you're looking for good spots. And most of the areas you're going to go have been hit before. So truthfully, what you're looking for is the spots the other dudes didn't find. At least that's true in this area of southern Arizona because it's so dry. So there's not a lot of water recharge. All right, let's finish up this pan and see what we got. So this is the last pan off the bottom of the bucket, which means it has the highest probability of holding gold. I know somebody watching this is going to think you pan way too fast. I've been panning for a long time. I'm okay with that. Have I ever missed gold? Maybe. But you know what? I bet I'll pan twice as many pans as you in a day, and I'll find more gold like that. 1 micron out of that bucket. I don't even think I can show it to you. It's there. You probably can't see it. It's super tiny. So again, did I just fail? Absolutely not. I took a sample off an area that I was considering running my dry washer on, and I realized that's not the spot to run my dry washer. I realized that because I got hardly any gold. There's very little black sand here. There's some large pieces of the magnetite material, but there's very little black sand here, and a lot of it was really light. I expected, like, a lot of it had the loamy clay in it. That's usually not a great sign. What I'm looking for is more of the sandy black sand type material that indicates that it's the old channel, the old river channel up on the side. So that's it. Pan for gold in your yard, and it will save you hours of time out in the field, hours of labor digging for no gold, and it's nice and fun and relaxing, and beautiful day here in southern Arizona. So thanks for joining me. Again, I'm Keith. This is the Prospector's Vault. Subscribe, like, follow, and learn more tricks and tips about how to avoid wasting time and energy in the field, as well as gold bullion, silver bullion, and other great topics.